Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. What are we talking about this time? Well, it wasn't going to last forever. Microsoft is increasing the price of the Xbox Series X and Game Pass. So, they are raising the price of Xbox Series X console in most countries in August, apart from the US, Japan, Chile, Brazil, and Colombia. So you guys get a pass on that. They're also increasing the monthly prices of Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscriptions coming up here next month, which will see the base Game Pass subscription for consoles move up to $10.99. Currently, it is $9.99. And Xbox Ultimate will go from $14.99 to $16.99. So, Xbox Series X console pricing will largely match the price hike Sony announced for the PlayStation 5. They had announced that in other countries besides the US as well, where they are increasing the price of PS5s. And it pretty much this price hike for the console will match up with what PlayStation did in those countries. So basically, with the Xbox moving up to $479.99 in the UK or $549.99 across most European markets, and $649.99 in Canada, and $800 in Australia. Starting August 1st, the Xbox Series S pricing will not be adjusted in any markets. It will remain at the $300 mark. So, Phil Spencer did mention this. I did hint at it. He hinted it back in October that pricings for subscriptions wouldn't hold forever. So we did know that at some point the price was going to go up. Some good news that is if you're an existing Game Pass monthly subscriber, the reoccurring these price increases won't take effect until August 13th or September 13th in Germany. So we have until then. You have until then to either make up your mind if you're going to keep Game Pass or to stack up on some Game Pass subscriptions and until the price hike comes up. For new members of Xbox Game Pass, the new prices will take effect immediately on July 6th. If you're subscribed to Xbox Game Pass through a yearly code, the new pricing won't take effect until you renew your subscription. So if you have a year of Xbox, it won't change until you go back to renew. So basically, most of the markets will be affected by the Xbox Game Pass increase, with the exception of some Game Pass console pricing, which will remain the same in Norway, Chile, Denmark, Switzerland, and Saudi Arabia. So those places will stay the same. Microsoft, they haven't ever changed their subscription prices. So this would be the first time. And I would say don't expect it to be the last time. So yeah, I mean, that sucks. Game Pass is a good deal. It is. You get a lot of game for the buck, but with the increase in price, question is it still a good deal? Right? I mean, it's still cheaper than buying, two new games a month or something like that. I think is what we used to say before, like, or every 3 months or something to that effect, or every year or something like that. I don't remember. We've talked about it before, the pricing of what it is now compared to how many games, right? Versus $60, $70 games. But as these things increase in price, it's kind of like, I think about it like in Netflix. Netflix raised their price, and I'm sure a lot of people probably canceled their subscription. I'm sure they still have a ton, but it just depends on how much you use it. But these markets continue to and these subscription models continue to go up in price, and as the consumer, are you getting more for the price increase, right? Are you getting more value out of that increase? And most of the time you're not. You're getting the same value you got before, but now it just costs you more money, right? So it sucks. But I don't know. What can you do? What do you think about this, Pat?
The pricing increase doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So why is Ultimate going up by $2 when they're not raising PC Game Pass at all? PC Game Pass is staying $9.99.
Yes, that's correct. PC Game Pass is staying the same price.
So PC Game Pass is staying the same. Xbox Game Pass is going up $1. But if you have the combo subscription where you're getting PC and Xbox, it's going up by $2. The PC Game Pass library is garbage. They don't have a whole lot in there, and I'm subscribed to Ultimate, which is kind of pissing me off because it's like, why are you increasing me by $2, but PC Game Pass isn't going up and Xbox only going up by $1. So you're increasing it by $2. I'm a little bit perturbed by that. I don't understand their reasoning or thought process behind that because that seems really stupid. Like somebody at Microsoft doesn't know how to do math, or they think everybody's an idiot and they won't notice that has Game Pass Ultimate. Because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. $2 increase. So you're going from $14.99 to $16.99. So why the $2 increase for combining services? I don't get that. But so they're eking more and more towards the non-cost effective side, right? Because at $16.99, I think that's like almost $204 a year. That's roughly 3 $70 games or 4 $60 games. So if it doesn't save me that in a year, it's not worth it. If there's not 4 games that I would have bought but didn't have to because of Game Pass, then it didn't save me anything. Or 3 $70 games, then it's not worth it, right? And some of those things aren't going to matter. Like Starfield, I'm super excited for Starfield, so I want the extra stuff for Starfield, so I'm going to buy that one. I'm not going to play it on Game. I'm going to get it on Game Pass, but I want to play it. I want to get it so I can get the extra stuff, right? So that game won't even count for me. It'll just be anything else that we play that I would not have to buy. So at that, it's kind of leaning towards less and less cost effective for me, especially because Microsoft's dragging their ass and not releasing Family Plan in the US. They haven't talked about that in ages. Like it's completely died off, and they're like, we're not doing that. I think this might have a subscriber hit to them, and they're probably and I wouldn't be surprised if the increase caused them to lose more revenue than pre-rise numbers. So they don't even get back to the number they were at pre-rise. So the amount of money they're getting now, once they increase it $1 and $2, I think they'll have a decline in subscriptions to the point to where they're now making less money pre-rise. So the $2 thing really is annoying and perturbs me because they're not increasing the PC price. So I don't know. I'm a little miffed about that piece more than anything. I'm like, okay, everything's gone up. Netflix subscription, Hulu, all those guys are raising their rates. Everybody's raising their rates because of capitalism. You do that 9% year over year return, and the only way to get that is increase your subscriber count or increase your price. Nothing else is increased for them. They just need to make more money every year. And you're not innovating. You're just increasing the cost of your service or increasing the amount of subscribers you got. So Microsoft's reached that peak subscriber number. They're not bringing in any more subscribers like they were hoping. So now they got to raise the rate, and they'll hit that equilibrium point where the price to value is not worth it. And right now I'm looking at what I want to play over the next year on Xbox to see if it's worth the $70 for me to do that. Is it going to take 3 games out of is it going to keep me from buying 3 $70 games over the course of a year or 4 $60 games? Is it going to do that for me? I'm not seeing it right now. So it may be a subscribe month by month thing for me in the not too distant future. Because right now I'm paying for 2 Game Pass Ultimate subscriptions. So my monthly price is going up $4. So I will probably look to maybe not be doing that in the future. So what about you, Nick? You going to keep up? You got 2 subscriptions too, don't you? You got 2 Game Pass Ultimates. You think you're going to keep them both?
I don't know. I'm definitely debating it. I haven't played recently in the last few months or so. I don't think I've played anything on Game Pass. that I've downloaded and played through. So it hasn't really come out with anything that I'm interested in. We are going to get some stuff here coming up, especially like Starfield is going to be on Game Pass. I didn't buy Starfield, and the thing that's I was just going to play it on Game Pass, but the thing that's really shady is they're increasing the price right before Starfield comes out, because this price increase, well, it takes effect in July for new people, but for subscribers that are already subscribed, which is majority, right? It's not going to take effect until August, a month before the release of Starfield. So, by that time, I might look into the same thing, going like, maybe I'll cancel it and just kind of subscribe to it when I feel like there's something out there worth my time. And right. I mean, understand it's
kind of bad, right? Because instead of them collecting your $15, your $30 a month over the course of a year and getting that entire revenue, now they're going to get their $30. You're going to get your $15 to $30 4 times a year instead of 12 times a year. And then it's like, I'm not, and what I'm doing now is I'm no longer buying the $70 and $60 game either. I'm getting a game and playing it for $15. So they're creating this scenario themselves. It's going to happen where people are going to only subscribe during the month when a game comes out they want to play, and they're going to get $15 for that game, and that's it, instead of $70 or your $15 over the course of a year, $10 over the course of a year, or because there's no reason to pay $15 then, right? It'll be the $11, the $10.99. You'll spend $11 that month and play the game you want for 1/7 the price.
Right. Yeah, because you want to buy Ultimate. I mean, unless you're going to play it unless you want like cross save between your console and your PC that month. Otherwise, right. You'll just buy the regular Game Pass, and
maybe a game comes out on PC and Xbox that month you want to play.
Right. Then you could get Ultimate, but otherwise, if not, then you're just going to stick with one or the other. So yeah, I mean, I think they will lose. I don't know how many, but I think they will lose subscribers. Right. It seems like and kind of feels like they plateaued on their subscriber count. And so I think with this increase, you'll probably see a lot more. You'll probably see that subscriber count go down. I think they're hoping, like you said, to kind of just keep it where it's at and then increase the price and continue that trend. But I think you'll see where a lot of people will drop off, including, possibly me and possibly you and even possibly Shane, who's not here with us tonight. He could, all follow suit. I think Netflix, even when they raised their prices, now I don't know how much it returned, but when they raised their prices, I know they lost quite a bit of subscribers. Not enough to really super impact them, but they did, and I don't know how many of those subscribers returned, but, these price increases, like I said, you're not getting any sort of, if you're going to increase price, the consumer, I feel like, expects more value for the price increase. And if you're not getting more value for the increased price, then it's like, well, why am I paying you more? You're not giving me more than what you gave me before. So why should I pay you more money to get the same thing I've been getting? We were expecting to see that price increase at some point. And, you won't be surprised if we don't see it again, right? It might be a few years till that happens, but it will happen again, where the price will go up again. Xbox has got a lot of, from time to time, they have some great games that come to Game Pass, but it's like, kind of like we said, is it worth it now? Once the price increases, is it going to be worth it for you? And I don't know, it may not. Like I said, like Pat said, I'll have to look at future Xbox Game Pass releases and also future games coming to, not to Xbox, they're not Game Pass, but future Xbox Game Pass releases, and see like what's the equivalent of how many months, and what I want to, does it map out, or would it be easier for me just to purchase those games, right? Would it be just cheaper for me to do that instead of keeping with subscription or something like that, if I don't want to subscribe for a month or something?
I mean, out of the last couple of months, I've barely turned on my Xbox. I've been playing Zelda, and then I've been playing, Final Fantasy and some stuff on PlayStation and Switch. I mean, And then the last game that we did review on there, Layers of Fears, was a purchase game. It wasn't even on Game Pass for us. So, they've not really saved me much in the last couple of months. I just continuously subscribe because, it's easier for me and it's cost effective. It's not cost effective for me to keep subscribing if I'm not going to get the games out of it that I expect to get out of it. Usually when you get a price increase, you get features, right? I don't think the Microsoft's add enough new features or new games, in my opinion, to warrant a price increase. Game Pass is still the same as it was when it came out. I mean, not exactly the same, but the feature ads for Game Pass have not increased. Like, I don't have a whole new slew of features to help me do anything, and I don't give a rat's ass about streaming games. So you can't tell me that's a feature that I should want to stay for, because I won't. But it is what it is. They're going to raise their prices. I mean, I think the bigger thing for them is they're going to hurt themselves in other markets with the price increase of the console, where, I don't know how they're doing in the UK and all the other places they're raising their console prices at, but I mean, you basically are just saying, we're done selling consoles in those markets with this increase. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, man. It does.
It's kind of like saying the markets that the console's not increasing in, these are our important markets, and everyone else can just, pay more because we don't care. Because I think, didn't they already increase prices in these other markets like a while back, like a year or so after the Xbox had came out? Because I thought we
hearing
read
them
something
talking
like
about.
that.
I remember hearing them talk about a price increase, but yeah, I mean,
but the Series S is staying the same price.
Yeah, nobody cares about the Series S.
Nobody cares about that to begin with. I mean,
yeah. Now that the X is in plentiful value, in plentiful quantities, nobody cares about the S, really. I mean, I don't own an S, and I don't have a reason to own an S. I've got an X, and I don't see the reason for it. The console price increase kind of baffles me. I mean, I know Sony did it, but Sony's a much bigger dog than Microsoft is on the console sales, and they can afford to do it. Microsoft is wanting to catch up in the console sales, and increasing your price is just shooting yourself in the foot, They're like, well, we're going to hobble ourselves here in those markets.
Yeah, and that means you're just going to lose out in those markets, right? I mean, they're increasing their prices to match with PlayStation, I think, is what in the article said, the price increases. But, then if your price of your console is the same as a PlayStation in those markets, where Xbox may not be as popular, when someone goes to the store, the average consumer, they see two consoles, an Xbox and a PlayStation at the same price, they're going to be like, well, I guess I'll get the PlayStation, right? Especially if that's more popular in the market right there. Whereas if they went to the store and saw a $700 PlayStation and a $500 or $600 Xbox, they may be like, I'll go with the cheaper one, then I can get a couple games with it or something.
Yep. Yeah, it seems like a weird move, but Microsoft, they supposedly know their business. I don't think they do. I mean, I don't know. Because I will say that Microsoft I think the US is probably their largest market, and they're not increasing consoles here because they still either think that there's room to grow in the US, which I'm not sure there is. I mean, after the first 2 or 3 years of your console, I don't really think that you're going to have room to grow in any substantial numbers. The places to grow are the ones where you're not very heavily ingrained yet. And to win those console wars in those areas, as much as I hate to say that word, you have to keep your prices low. You have to be cheaper than the competition and offer just as good of an experience. And I think Microsoft's gaming experience, as far as console, is better than PlayStation. I think PlayStation has better exclusives than Microsoft does. But I think the Microsoft experience, such as dashboard, console, controller, all that, is better. But that's my opinion. And, but I also buy and play both of them. I own Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Switch. I own all of that, and I play on all of them. But I like the experience that is offered by Microsoft more than I like the Sony experience. I think the Sony dashboard it's like a rat maze in that thing, and it's very slow and sluggish, and I don't like it. I don't like their dashboard, but I like Microsoft's dashboard. But there's things I like about both. That I like about one more than the other, and it just comes through. But the price increase comes at a bad time for Microsoft, a really bad time for them. Stupid. And like Nick said, price increase just before Starfield comes out, the game that should have already been out multiple times before now. So they're banking on Starfield driving some sales.
They're banking on Starfield hard. And, that might end up being good for them. I mean, the Starfield Direct that we had, Starfield looks great. I'm super excited for it. And the kind of on the fence feeling I had after we first saw Starfield, that kind of, rectified that with the Direct. I feel like a more confident product, and I'm super excited to play it. But if it doesn't, it's got to come out of the gate swinging. That's the thing, though. And if it comes out of the gate swinging, it's going to be a big boon for Microsoft. But if it whimpers, regardless of how cool it looks, if it whimpers out of the gate, put that nail in that coffin, right? I mean, it's just because they're already halfway in there right now. I think their showcase was probably one of the better ones this year. And I think that seems to be the case online. People are kind of excited to what was shown on their showcase and what's coming. But, they've really got to stick the landing here in the rest of this year. They've really got to stick the landing. They got some good ones lined up for 2024, and they got some good ones lined up for the rest of this year. Starfield mainly, but some other ones sprinkled in. They really got to land that starship in the Starfield theme of things. Otherwise, they'll crash and burn.
Right. I would highly recommend, if you like Game Pass and you're kind of worried about this and then games and stuff like that, you can stack your subscription up to 36 months. And I follow Matt Swider on Twitter, and I would advise you to do the same. Right now, he's got a thing up on his Twitter page where you can get basically for 3-month deal for $28. I mean, that's like, instead of 45, it's 45, and they're 3-month blocks, right? So he's got $28 for 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate, when typically that's $45, because Microsoft doesn't offer bulk discounts, and you could stack up to 36 months. So, that's like half off. When you get really close to it, it's almost half off when you get down to purchasing it and then stack that. Now, that's $300. That's a lot of money, but you might want to maybe bank yourself a few months or a year, because if you want to do a year, that's just like a little over $100, so might be worth it if that's what you're worried about. You can still bank that stuff.
Yep. Stack up those months. Otherwise, you're going to be paying a lot more. But do you have anything else you want to say about this, Pat? All right. Well, let us know down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think of the price increase? If you live outside the U.S. in one of those countries that are going to get a console increase, what do you think about that? And but for the rest of us that are all pretty much getting Game Pass going up, what does everybody think about that? If you have an Xbox Game Pass subscription now, are you okay with the price increase, or does that make you want to take a double take on your subscription and wonder if you want to keep it or not? Let us know down in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time, and we'll see you next time.